The Baltimore Orioles rebuild marches on. Broadcasted opening day live yesterday, back here with an April recap. As you can see at the top of the screen, it's now May 1st. And you might also notice the Orioles do not have that bad of a record, 14-17, considering we're projected for 49 wins this season. We'll take 14-17 over the first month of the season. So first, I'll just kind of show you couple transactions I made. Nothing too major from me. First, there was a big trade though today in the major leagues. Boston traded Andrew Benintendi for Alcantara, who's definitely a pretty decent young starting pitcher, but it's still surprising to me though. Yeah, he was an all-star in 2019 with the Marlins. And they traded Brandon Kinsler, who, yeah. Anyways, interesting trade. Surprised to see a name as big as Benintendi get traded. Not really sure why the Red Sox would be motivated to move him. So I made one trade. I traded Dwight Smith, and the reason I traded Dwight Smith is basically I was in a roster crunch, had DJ Stewart coming off the IL, and just, I've got a bunch of outfield prospects, and I just shopped around to see what I could get for him. The Marlins were interested in him. I had to take on Garrett Cooper. That was kind of a requirement, but he's making the league minimum, so who really cares? He's in Norfolk. He's doing fine. He'll come up if I have an injury or something, and honestly, if he crushes it down there, maybe somebody will take him. He's not a bad major league player. But I just have other guys in the majors that I want to give at bats to now over him. Victor Mesa is a pretty big name. He was like a top international free agent in 2018 that the O's were actually in the hunt for. The Marlins got the shine's kind of come off him a bit, I think, kind of in the year and a half since he signed. And obviously the game doesn't think he's cut out for greatness. He's an awesome fielder, though. And I figured, not that I need more outfield prospects, but just trying to get more young players. He was in like kind of double A, I think. It looks like maybe a little A, and was at double A for like half of 2019 in real life, and he was just terrible. So I put him in A ball, and he's off to a great start. Slugging 675 through 10 games since the trade. So I got him. I got this guy, Colton Hawk. He seems like a decent bullpen arm. He doesn't really have the stamina to become a starter, sorry. Looks like he's got a decent arm. So I put him in double A. As I said earlier, I just kind of try to accumulate a bunch of relief arms in trades because you can often get them as throw-ins, and then you can normally build over years an adequate major league bullpen. And then I got some cash too, which is always important. So that's that. Now to take a look at the major league team. Here are my hitters. I'm going to sort this by weighted runs created plus, weighted runs created plus is if you have a 100, that means your league average at creating runs for your team. It's an offensive measure. Creating runs is the name of the game. I like it as the best catch-all offensive stat. And so if Richie Martin is at 101, that means he's 1% above league average. 92, you're 8% below league average as a hitter. It's a good catch-all metric. I like it, and just kind of in these recaps, I think it's helpful. Valleca, he's had 35 plate appearances and is 99% above league average. He might continue to get more playing time if he keeps doing that. Nunez is doing pretty well. Chris Davis at a 110 weighted runs created plus. To put that in perspective, let's look at his career weighted runs created plus. See, back here, he's putting up like 161, 144, which is just absurdly good. And then the last 2 years in real life, 44, 57. So a good month from Chris Davis at 110. He's on pace for 26 home runs and 47 RBIs. That'd be an interesting stat line. And then Santander's having a good. Richie Martin, surprisingly good. Wilkerson's been fine. Ruiz, then you start to get into, Jacob Hanneman, a good start, but he's cooled off a bit. And I did claim Anthony Alford off of waivers from the Blue Jays. It looks like he's not going to be that. Avoid Ks and contacts. If he can bump those up, he might be okay, but he's been awful. I mean, he's got 9 strikeouts and 16 plate appearances. He's got 2 strikeouts and 8 plate appearances for the Blue Jays before that. I'm not sure he's going to amount to anything, but I just figured I'd take a chance on him. He's really fast. He's a good fielder at all 3 positions. I might cut him at some point because I want to get other guys up eventually in the outfield. But I claimed him for now. As you can see, he's backing up. And he comes as a defensive replacement sometimes. Mason Williams hopped in for where Dwight Smith was. So yeah, so that's the offense. Pedro Severino has been miserable. I'm actually probably going to cut him at some point here and sign a free agent catcher who's good defensively and has good leadership skills because I need more guys with leadership for how bad this team is to keep it from being, a total S show. All right, so pitching. Just kind of glance at their numbers here. You can look at their ERA. Michael Bowman has been the highlight. If you look at him here, he's on pace for 3.7 WAR. He's striking out 8.1 per 9. His ERA is mid twos. That's really good. John Means' ERA isn't nearly as good, but he's still on pace for 2.1 WAR. He's not striking anybody out. And so you might notice that Alex Cobb is missing. We've had some injuries. Harvey's been hurt twice. He's on the IL. Dylan Tate came up to give me some innings, and he tore his UCL. He's out for the year, and Cobb tore his labrum. And so, yeah, Cobb's out for the year. Tate's out for the year. Harvey, I think, is just going to get hurt a lot, like in real life. So this is Dean Kramer stepped into the rotation. As you can see, that's been a little rough. Tanner Scott's been great, 2.2 ERA. He's got 6 saves. He is on pace for 84 games, which is a lot for a reliever. He's not striking anybody out, 7.7 Ks, which is weird. Some other things. Wyatt Short, he was one of the guys I got from Chicago in the Chance Cisco deal. He's pitching well, striking out 10.1 K per 9. I basically added 3 or 4 more pitchers to my 40-man, and I kind of rotate them as I need fresh arms. And this is who's up right now. And so, yeah, so you can kind of see ERA and FIP. FIP is a good measure of how much luck, I guess, is playing into their results. Without StatCast data in this game, it can kind of tell you what their ERA should be. So Michael Baumann has still been really good, a deserved 3.68 ERA, basically. That's still good. And so as you go down here, it's been a little bit of disaster for some guys. As you can see, Phillips has just had really bad luck, 2.50 FIP and a 9 ERA. Castro's been bad. Kramer hasn't been good. Nothing too unexpected here. But pretty awesome that Michael Bowman's been so good. And I keep saying Bowman or Bauman. And we'll see what Dean Kramer does. We'll see. I don't know if I'm going to keep him up all year. He had a really good start his last start, but he's gotten knocked around some. MLB standings wise, the Yankees are just absolutely dominating, 26-6. You go down, the Twins are in first. That record's not very good, but no surprise that they're in first. Astros are doing well. The Angels started slow, but I think have been slowly warming up. Marlins, huge surprise, and just got Benintendi, 18-13. I don't see that continuing. Pirates, a bit of a surprise here. The Brewers, surprisingly bad. The Cards and the Cubs, not great. And then here we've got Rockies, Dodgers, and Padres. Rockies probably being surprising that they're doing so well there. One thing of note is Manny Machado is on freaking fire. As you can see, 11 home runs on 36 RBIs in 133 plate appearances, which would put him on pace for 57 and 188 and 13.4 wins above replacement. He's had like a solid half a season here in terms of WAR in a month. So he's not playing around in year 2 in San Diego, and and he's got the Padres 3 games above 500. They still don't have any pitching though. All right, so that's that. I'll look at MLB leaderboards and all that as it gets more into the year. A month isn't a great sample. I'm going to run through my minor leagues real quick. In Norfolk, and I'll just kind of sort by ERA here. I've got some guys who have hardly pitched. I always stock up organizations with like 20 to 24 pitchers. That way when guys get called up or guys get hurt, I don't have to worry about messing with it. So early in the year, like some guys won't pitch as much, which is fine. Cole Stewart's been up. Lakins has been up and down. He's been terrible when he's been up. Cole Stewart has not been good when he's been up, but he's pitched 20 innings with a 1.35 ERA, 2.28 FIP. And then Germán has taken over the closer role. He's striking out 14.3 per nine. He's a guy I got from the Nationals in the Givens trade. Stefan, I got him from the Yankees in a trade. He's striking out over 15 guys per 9 innings. He's not in the closer role anymore, though. Keegan Aiken has gotten some starts. He started 2 games. Wells, Zimmerman, we'll see. Brandon Bilek, who came over in the Mancini trade, has been a disaster so far. But again, 16 innings, 4 starts, big deal. Cody Carroll, David Hess, not good at all. But it's a bad month. That's all. I'll just run through the pitching real quick, and then I'll. Actually, no, I'm going to go to the hitting. I have a bunch of guys here. Again, I'm working on their fielding metrics at different positions. That's why I have Mountcastle down. That's why I have Hayes down, because I want to become better fielders at different positions. Toro is tearing it up, 138 weighted runs created plus. His first base rating is now up as high as his third base. That's going great. Mountcastle is hitting the ball well. No surprise, 119 runs created plus. And he was a 35 at third base. He's already hopped up to a 40, which is awesome. Coming down here, Cedric Mullins is hitting okay. Diaz is bad. Hayes has been off to a bad start. And then we've got Diaz injured with the diagnosis pending. So we'll see what happens there. Those guys are all working on their defense. I think the ratings have bumped up like 5 points each on defense. Other than that, not a lot going on here. Some DJ Stewart is tearing it up, and that's why I'm going to get him onto the major league roster. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. I'll probably DFA Mason Williams. But we'll see. I'm going to call him up. He's 26. It's just time for him to get some at-bats. All right. Let's check out Bowie. And Norfolk's record is... Their pitching's been terrible. Their hitting's been great. They're 11-10. Bowie is 17-3, which is awesome. Batting stats. Let's see who's doing what here. These guys haven't played all that much. 25 plate appearances. Angelo Mora is just a minor league filler guy. He's like 27, so big deal. But Ryan McKenna, 177 runs created plus. He's working on that center field rating. Need him to become better at those outfield positions before I'll start considering him. Chaz McCormick, who came over from Houston, he was a throw-in in the Mancini trade, is tearing it up. JC Encarnacion, I heard he has 4 homers and 20 RBIs with 160 runs created plus. That's good. He's working on his contact skills, though. So he struck out 20 times. Cole Freeman is the guy who came over from the Nationals in the Givens trade. He's working on his third base rating. It's already up to a 40. I think it was at like a 25 or a 30. So that's good. It could be going better at the plate for him. Nothing else too remarkable there. Pitching, Corey Abbott came over from the Cubs in that Cisco trade. He's doing well here. A bunch of guys who haven't pitched. And then DL Hall's been off to an okay start. He's not striking anybody out, 5.2 Ks per 9. Again, it's just 4 starts, 24 innings. Kyle Bradish has been awesome. 1.16 ERA, 2.77 FIP, on pace for 4.9 WAR. He came over in real life from the Angels in the Bundy trade. Hannafy and Fenter are doing okay. There's Hawk, the guy I just traded for. Cody Sedlock. He's a former first-round pick. Tetreault is pitching well. He's got a 1.35 ERA in only 6 2/3 innings, though, out of the pen. He came over from the Nationals in the Givens trade. So that's kind of a quick overview of the Bay Sox. The Frederick Keys are 6-14, which is not good. So let's see what's going on with their pitching. Zach Peak is pitching really well. Zach Peak, it's his first taste of professional ball. I think he came over in the Bundy trade too. Yep. So he's pitching well. He's striking out 8.3 per 9. Dan Hammer, who's this guy? Where'd he come from? 2019 13th round pick. Okay, so he's pitching okay. Brigham Hill is closing. Looks like his ERA is a little rough, but it's only 6 innings. He came over from the Nationals in the Givens trade. Just a bunch of arms here. None of the big prospects are in pitching prospects are in Frederick. But then hitting, we've got Adley Rutschman here, and there's some other guys. So Adley Rutschman is doing quite well. 135 runs created plus in 16 games in Frederick. I will probably bump him up eventually. I don't really bump anybody up before 2 months into the season. So like end of May, I'll start looking at that. Grenier, or however you say his name, is working on a shortstop. He's doing okay. Kyle Isbell came over from the Royals in that trade, working on his center field rating because he's going to be a boss fielder. His bat isn't great so far. Adam Hall, a 19 weighted runs created plus as he tries to become a decent second baseman. Gross. We'll see. We'll see what happens. So yeah, not a lot going on there besides Rutschman and a couple other guys hitting well. So let's go to Delmarva. In Delmarva, hitting wise, I think I can save it so it defaults up, but I haven't set that up yet. So Nelson Molina's a guy I signed. He's 25 in A-ball. He's just kind of organizational filler, but he's off to a heck of a start in 17 games with the 233 runs created plus. Let's see. Dashbach, he's got a 160 in 92 plate appearances. 160 weighted runs created plus, on pace for a nice 6.9 WAR. This guy was a draft pick at some point. Yeah, 11th round 2019. So it was a good start for him. Grayson Rodriguez, the hitter, here with a 120 weighted runs created plus. Kyle Stowers is a former high pick. He's off to a decent start. Pitching side of things, you can see that Grayson Rodriguez has 5 starts and a 0.64 ERA. Striking out 10.3 per 9, and he did pitch at A-ball last year, so I'm probably going to move him up soon, end of May maybe, if he's still doing well. But at 20 years old and, not being a competitive team for the next couple of years, I'm really in no rush. Blaine Knight's throwing well. All these guys are. Dallas Litcher is a guy who a lot of teams have been interested in trades. When I've asked about, who can I throw in to make this deal work, a lot of guys like him. My scout doesn't think that highly of him, but he's pitching well. Other teams like him, so we'll see where that goes. Pearson McMahon is a guy I signed as a free agent, and he's thrown 5 shutout innings so far, walking a lot of people though. So that's Delmarva, and then the other teams haven't started yet. The short A-ball, low A-ball season haven't started. So yeah, I mean that's the team right now. We're 14 and 17. The major league the team is rough. Bauman's a highlight. Hitting, there's not a lot of highlights other than maybe Chris Davis doing well. Hopefully Nunez will keep hitting so I can move him out for something. Gonna get DJ Stewart up here. What else? That's kind of the gist of it right now. I'll keep working the waiver wire because as long as the guy's making league minimum and I have fewer than 40 guys on my 40-man, my owner will now let me claim them. So that's pretty cool. So I've been keeping an eye on that, but it's mainly older, overpaid guys. Anyway, so that's the squad. Any questions, just let me know, or anything you want me to go in next time for May, which I'll be done with soon since there's nowhere to go and nothing to do. But yeah, so that's the Orioles. 14 of our 49 projected wins are in the bag, people, and we are, for the start of May, off to Chicago to play the White Sox. Let's get it.